Welcome, one and all, to the final cut. So glad you could join me, my friends and cinema fans, as we traipse through October and look at some very interesting and unique films. Now, today, it is not a horror film, but it is definitely an interesting one in the form of Monster Force Zero, brought to us by Nathan Latier and written by Michelle Pasito, and I hope I pronounced those right, and if not, I do apologize. But we get a story, a group of individuals who are writing their own comic called Monster Force Zero. They dress up as the characters, this trio, and have been trying unsuccessfully to push their comic book at Comic-Cons. Well, they cross paths with a cosplaying group, the Destructors of Destruction, and they end up going to an after party as a cosplay challenge. Well, soon they find themselves wrapped up in some interstellar battle where they gain powers, and we see how we unravel who is who and who's telling the truth, and what exactly is Monster Force Zero fighting for, and who should they really be fighting, all throughout this retro type style cosplay through the roof movie that had me engrossed from minute one. This film pulled me in and kept me there. Now, yes, it is on a lower budget, but that's fine by me. I was worried because films like this, really pull off cheesiness, but here the execution is done just the way you want it. Yes, it's done in a retro style to where it's supposed to feel like an 80s film, though it does take place in modern times. It does do that, so you do have that retro element we've seen quite a bit, but the story is so unique, and these characters are so interesting. They just went for it. It felt like it kind of felt a little bit like Scott Pilgrim versus the World as far as the characters go, but they still have their unique identity and their own approach to this. And yeah, I was digging the story. It was original, it was wild, it was weird, and it was just what I look for in indie films. Someone doing something different, and they actually do it here. Pat Tanaka, yes, the wrestler himself, shows up here as the janitor. Wonderful character. This guy who just continually spouts human philosophy, dialogue, and I loved that gimmick with him. Adam Singer plays AI, one of the three in the trio who are selling the Monster Force Zero comic. Loved his character. He really pulls off the reluctant leader routine, and his two partners that he has in here, Delina Nagayan playing Kadabra, and Aeon Cruz playing Amorama, which I love that name. These two ladies are their own characters as well, and they're there to support him. And yeah, I love the dynamic and the chemistry between these three. They're so energetic and fun and different. And yeah, but there's a lot of energy plowing throughout this entire film. I mean, if you're a fan of cosplay and comic books, and especially, as I mentioned, Scott Pilgrim versus the World, or even Ready Player One type of energy, you're going to dig this quite a bit, I think. C. Hine just plays it up as Guns Laser with a shirt that kind of is reminiscent of Flash Gordon, but his character is kind of like Flash Gordon on steroids. I mean, he's just all beefed up. Well, not exactly. He's got football pads underneath for his beefed up chest, but still, his character was just, wow. I mean, he could double as a Biff Tannen, but it's like Biff Tannen on just like to the 10th degree Energizer Bunny form of Biff Tannen in here for his Guns Laser. And Garrick Wang even shows up to add that a little extra geek moment here. Monster Force Zero's got some great action sequences. The special effects looked far better than I expected in a film like this, and there are a plethora of them. Yes, some of them do come off a bit cheesy, but again, they were going for that retro aesthetic, so it does make it a little bit more acceptable. And with as zany, and I do use the word zany as this film is, you don't mind it at all, because you're just wondering where they're going to go. Props to an appearance by an Apple Macintosh as well. So there you have, folks. Monster Force Zero, I think, is a lot of fun. put out by Wild Eye Releasing. This is one of those where it's an indie film, and you might think, oh, here we go, bad CGI. But no, this just has some kind of very pure energy to it that is just so much fun to have to watch, that you need one of these escape films once in a while. The audio and production design are great in here as well. Didn't take me out of it at all. And if you're even a fan of Pat Tanaka, you may want to check it out. So there you have it, folks. Monster Force Zero. Highly recommend it for just a quirky, different film. One of the better ones put out by Wild Eye Releasing. If you have seen this film, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this movie. Please check out our Patreon. Also subscribe, hit like, and all that fun stuff. I thank you for your support, and until next time, remember, as always, keep that ticket stub.